Very nice.
How'd you get those?
Need some more. You need some more. Let's show you how to do it. Arms, arms, arms. We were talking about building biceps before, and then really we had that awesome conversation about how people overtrain their biceps and totally neglect their triceps, when in reality you should be working your triceps equally, if not more. It's a big muscle, super strong muscle, and it will add that thickness, and you'll get that nice big arm that you're looking for the beach. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we were talking about in that last video, that that's 3/5 of your arm, right? It's literally a tricep for a reason, right? Tri is 3, bi is 2. So it's taking up more of your arm and filling out that sleeve more. And for me, I love training triceps because I know it's going to help my bench, right? So everybody wants a bigger bench. Every dude wants a bigger bench. And your biceps not doing anything for your bench, but your tricep, it's going to help you get that lockout at the end, right? So if you're failing here on your bench press, hitting those triceps a little bit, some close grip, some cable stuff like we're about to show you is gonna help you get that last little bit to finish that rep, so.
Absolutely, everybody knows how to do a bicep curl. People need to be throwing more triceps in, especially if you're a novice, because the first thing, I feel like people get really frustrated when they don't see results. Everybody's result driven. Everybody wants something overnight. And really, when you start to see that change in your body, when you start to see that you're building bigger arms, you get more motivated. You want to hit the gym more. So I always say, hit the triceps. Let's get those glamour muscles popping, get you a little bit more excited to hit the gym. And that's really what I feel about arms in general.
Yeah, so something the cables are gonna do, something that I'd like to add in, this is how I like to train triceps for the most part. For me, one, skull crushers, the barbell skull crusher sometimes hurts, right? So that tricep, as you know, attaches in there, and you can pinch that ulnar nerve and hurt. And then if you're hurting, you're not gonna do it, right? Or you're gonna stop doing it, or you're gonna get hurt. So something that I like to, I don't know how you train triceps, but cable is something that's super beneficial for me and something that is gonna make me do it and not hurt while I'm doing it, which is obviously super important.
Absolutely.
So for me, cables is the safest, fastest, easiest way to train triceps, and every gym has one of these, so you can typically find one in a bunch of different grips, bunch of different ways to hit different angles and stuff, so which was huge to not only keep your body working, but for me sometimes just keep it mentally stimulating, right? So because the best workout is the one that you're going to keep doing, right? So if you can keep yourself excited to train and change stuff up week over week, but really tricking you into doing the same thing, you're going to get results.
Oh yeah. I also think it's funny, you brought up, most people are working their chest. So I don't know how you work your splits. I do a chest tricep workout, a chest tricep split. And a lot of times I'll do a ton of chest, and by the end of it, I'm pretty fatigued, I'm tired, so I'm limited in the amount of tricep exercises that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And another unique piece about the cables is you're able to really overload the triceps. Say you put that pin down nice on the stack and you get a nice rep in. If I only have 5 minutes left, I can easily just move that pin up and go a little bit lighter in weight, and I can really just get a nice rep and really get that nice burn in my triceps without sacrificing, time, because time is always a big constraint for most people. You got to get back to your kids, you got to do things. So this is awesome piece of equipment for building your triceps.
For sure, and you don't have to have 10 different sets of dumbbells or taking up all the mirror space in the gym. Like you said, you can just hit one set and drop set, drop set, drop set, and maybe 2 minutes, and then you walk out.
Drop set, and so you can't move your arms anymore.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it goes at the end.
Yeah, don't stop, and if you can still straighten your arm, your tricep has more.
Yeah.
All right, so how to use the cable machine, right? So we kind of already got it set up for us, but there's 2 different attachments, right? So we have this one here in the middle that will turn the cable in or out. We already have it kind of where we want it, but obviously if you wanted to adjust that, you could. And then this arm, so we will use that later because we can hit little different angles there. If we want to do something like a kickback, or we're going to start showing you something that's overhead. So the rope attachment is what we're going to start with here. So the most popular probably tricep, I'd say, cable attachment you can use, and we'll kind of show you why. But because, go ahead and grab it, and we're going to show you a couple reps. But at the bottom of the rep, not only can you just go straight down, you can really you can really pronate your hand at the end to try to get that last little bit, right? So all about angles like we were talking about before. So elbow stays down, so you initiate, right? He already has the stack off, so you're already under tension, and then you're going down from there, and then that little bit of pronation at the end is really gonna get this angle right here, that wide, and that's the one you're looking for, right? If you're looking to look better, that's that little gap that you're looking for that's really gonna fill out your sleeves and help that tricep look better. So
there's that difference, that little pronation at the end is that difference that you're gonna get, that muscle contraction or not. You can see the difference if I'm here versus there.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's how we'd start with the cable. Typically, I know we talked about doing drop sets, so you could start, like I'll do like a set of 12, drop the weight, a set of 10, drop the weight, and then really you get to the point where you're getting as many reps as possible, but getting close to failure and super safe, right? You're not gonna drop it on your face like a skull crusher or anything like that. You can pretty much go to true failure. Like we talked about, the whole point of this cable stack is to mimic something overhead, right? So this angle of pull is not overhead. So you want to try to stand as close to the cable stack as you can, and then adjust this potentially up or down if necessary based on your height. And then, like we were talking about, you want to get that first initial pull. You should already have the stack off really before you even started extending your arms, right? So him pulling, it's a shoulder extension first. So pulling from here to here is what's getting that tricep under tension. And then you're under tension for the full range of motion, instead of like if you were joking backing up, you see this in the gym all the time, and you're working your shoulder for most of that motion, and then the tricep maybe gets a little activation at the end, but probably because you're trying to go too heavy.
And it's funny, we talked a little bit about, with the triceps and even adding in partial reps. What's funny is, for a long time, I would see people kind of hit the tricep machine and they would be kind of leaning forward like this and really only getting this much of a motion. And now with partial reps, I used to think that was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But now almost they're saying when you're at the end of your workout and you really only have so much left in the tank, those partial reps really could be a game changer.
Right. The biggest part to me though is you have to earn those partial reps, right? So a lot of people are taking it there too soon, right? They're like, oh yeah, that was the last rep I can do. Let me hit a couple half reps, but really gun to the head, how many more reps could you have done? And probably a few more full, and then you take it to the partials, right? So that's the way I try to view it. I don't know if you want to say the guy's name, but Sam Sulek is the guy who he's a massive dude and he earns those partial reps. So I don't know, that's how I look at it. You got to earn those things.
It's one of those things, I always think you just got to listen to your body. You know what I mean? If you're in there and you're doing it and you're really feeling the exercise, I'll let it slide. And obviously he gets a free pass. And if you're a bodybuilder, professional bodybuilder, I'm going to give you a pass. I'm talking about the novice who really hasn't really fully grasped the concept of building muscle.
Right, yeah, I think full reps, are what most people should be doing for most of their training. And then, like I said, earning those partials is important. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
We were talking, when you're doing this exercise, you really want to be symmetrical so that you're working everything bilaterally and you're getting symmetry between both muscles. So when this cable is coming down, so say if you're staggered, I see a lot of people kind of lean to one side or the other, and you're almost kind of coming down this way and muscling it. So I prefer having a nice stable base where I can get equal tension. My head is right in line with this, and I can get nice tension on both sides equally, and really it's good just for symmetry.
So we're gonna switch the attachment. So rope is probably one that a lot of people see. This is probably the second most popular, I would say. So mimics a straight bar if you're doing skull crushers. So you could do it the same way, but like we were talking about with the rope, you're missing that last little bit of pronation at the end. So the way I like to use the straight bar is a supinated grip to get a little different angle to get more of that long head of the tricep underneath. Again, same thing, you're trying to mimic that overhead motion. So again, this is already under tension. There's already weight on here because he pulled it that first little bit, right? So from here to here, that's getting you off. So make sure you're setting that cable height enough to get there. And then from there, you supinated the whole time, right? Because you have to hold on to the straight bar, and then you're just extending from there, right? So same idea, we're just getting a little different angle. We're getting a little bit more of that long head in here, which that's mostly the tricep that's gonna help you bench or to help increase your bench press. So if you are doing triceps to increase your bench, that's the one I would try to hit, more supinated stuff. All right, last one we're gonna talk about is a kickback. So I really like the cable or band attachments, something for kickbacks, because a lot of times you'll see people doing with dumbbells, and really gravity doesn't work until you're getting to that last little bit, right? So you're wasting half of your motion, right? So we're gonna go over how to do it on cables, and that's kind of the why of you do it on cables or with a band to get that tension throughout the full range of motion. So you can probably see we don't have an attachment on here. That's how we both kind of agreed that we like to do it. You could do it potentially with something like this, and then because that's gonna move, right? So sometimes I'll see people do it like that to mimic that, but we kind of both talked that there's a pun there, but you like to grip that.
It can be a little difficult too. You don't want to pinch your fingers in here, but I feel like when you go to the gym a lot, you kind of get used to it. You kind of get a little careful. You get in here and you can just grab the top of whatever's keeping this wire from coming back into the machine.
Yeah, and super convenient, because if you're at a commercial gym, sometimes the attachments to a machine like this can be the hardest thing to find. So you don't need an attachment. You can just use what it has, right? So.
End up fighting somebody for the ropes or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
That's happened before, for sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over kind of the kickback. So Chris is gonna go ahead and grab there. And then again, you wanna get into that position first. So elbows coming all the way back. You're trying to get this part of your arm at least close to parallel to the ground. That's the starting position. And then you're extending from there. So kicking back, coming down, but making sure this part of your arm does not move, right? So what I see a lot is people trying to go too heavy is they kind of come through and come down and they cheat and they're doing this kind of motion. Like we talked about before with the rope, shoulder extension is not controlled by your tricep, it's controlled by your shoulder. So what is controlled by your tricep is elbow extension. So as he's extending back, that's what's really working the tricep. And then like we said, as opposed to dumbbells, where dumbbells, I would say you probably only have tension like maybe from here to here, just the way gravity works, right? So you're wasting, I don't know, 60% of that range of motion. So fully under tension with the cable, and you're gonna get the most out of it. Yeah, so that's all things triceps, guys. Remember, triceps is making up more of your arm than your bicep. Make sure you're not neglecting it. It's gonna help your bench. It's gonna help you bicep curl without getting injured. Make sure you're hitting your triceps.
You want a mustache like me? Too bad, you can't have one. You suck. Listen, if you're trying to hang out at home and play with dolls, go ahead. We're hitting biceps with the boys.
No, we're hitting triceps.
Hitting triceps with the boys.
With the boys.